The rain stung my face as I stumbled through the forest, my heart pounding louder than the storm. They were coming from Meshidos with eyes like embers, their whispers slicing through the night. I was nobody, just Elias Kane, a 23-year-old runaway with nothing but a backpack and a secret I swore to bury. My boots sank into the mud, each step heavier than the last. I'd been running for days, maybe weeks, since the village elders decided my fate. They called it an honor, a sacred offering to appease the vampire Duke of Ravenmoor. I called it betrayal. My own family, desperate to save our crumbling town, had handed me over like a lamb to slaughter. "You're special," they'd said, their voices hollow. "Your blood will save us." But I wasn't special. I was just me. A guy who loved sketching sunsets and dreamed of a life beyond the village's iron gates. The forest opened to a clearing. And there it was, Ravenmoor Castle, a jagged silhouette against the storm. Its spires clawed at the sky, and the iron gates creaked as if welcoming me to my doom. I clutched the dagger hidden in my coat, a pathetic defense against immortal predators. But I wasn't going down without a fight. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall and impossibly graceful. His eyes glowed faintly, a deep crimson that pierced the rain. Duke Alaric Varnholt. Even in the village, his name was a whisper of fear and awe. He was ancient, powerful, and terrifyingly beautiful, with sharp cheekbones and hair like midnight. "Elias," he said, his voice smooth as velvet. "You're late." I froze, my breath hitching. I didn't exactly RSVP. I shot back, my voice steadier than I felt. His lips twitched, almost a smile, and for a moment, I thought I saw something human in him. But then he stepped closer, and the air grew colder. "You're not what I expected," he murmured, circling me like a wolf. The village usually sends sturdier offerings. His gaze lingered on my face, and I hated how my cheeks burned under it. "But there's something about you. Something alive. Flattering," I said, gripping the dagger tighter. "But I'm not here to be your dinner." He laughed, a low, rumbling sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Dinner? Oh, Elias, you're far more than that." He reached out, his fingers brushing my jaw, and I flinched. His touch was cold, but it sparked something I couldn't name fear. Yes, but also a strange pull, like gravity. Before I could respond, the gates groaned open, and a dozen figures in black cloaks appeared. Alaric's guards, their eyes glowing like his. "Take him inside," Alaric ordered, his tone sharp now. "He's mine." The words echoed in my head as they led me through the castle's labyrinthine halls. Candlelight flickered on stone walls, casting shadows that seemed to writhe. I was trapped, a gift wrapped in fear and delivered to a monster. But as they locked me in a lavish room with velvet curtains and a four-poster bed, I couldn't shake Alaric's gaze. It wasn't just hunger in his eyes. It was curiosity. Days blurred into nights. The castle was a maze of secrets, its silence broken only by distant whispers and the occasional scream. Alaric visited often, always at midnight, his presence both terrifying and magnetic. He didn't feed on me, though I saw the hunger in his eyes. Instead, he asked questions about my sketches, my dreams, the life I'd left behind. I answered, cautiously at first, then freely, drawn to the way he listened, as if I were more than a sacrifice. "You're not like the others," he said one night, sitting across from me in the firelight. His voice was softer now, almost tender. "They came willingly, eager to serve. You fight." "Maybe I just value my life," I replied, meeting his gaze. "Or maybe I don't trust pretty words from a vampire." He leaned closer, his breath cool against my skin. And yet, you're still here. Why? I didn't have an answer. Not then. But every night. As we talked, the fear faded, replaced by something dangerous, a warmth I couldn't ignore. Alaric was a predator. Yes. But he was also lonely, trapped in a castle that felt more like a tomb. And I, the runaway with nothing to lose, started to see him as more than a monster. One evening, as we walked through the castle's rose garden, he stopped by a fountain, its water catching the moonlight. This place, he said, his voice heavy, hasn't seen life in centuries. Until you. I swallowed, my heart racing. What do you want from me? Alaric. Really? He turned, his eyes locking onto mine. I want you to choose to stay, he said, not as a gift, but as mine. The word hung between us, charged with meaning I wasn't ready to face. I opened my mouth to respond, but a sharp laugh cut through the night. A new figure stepped into the garden, his silhouette leaner than Alaric's, his eyes a blazing gold. He was younger, wilder, with a smirk that spelled trouble. Well, brother, the stranger drawled, his gaze raking over me. You've been keeping secrets. Alaric stiffened, his hand brushing mine protectively. Lucien, he said, his voice a low growl. You weren't invited. Lucien's smirk widened. He stepped closer, ignoring Alaric, his eyes fixed on me. He's not yours. Alaric. Not anymore. He tilted his head, his voice dripping with challenge. He's mine now. The air in the rose garden crackled with tension, the moonlight casting sharp shadows across Lucien's face. He was Alaric's opposite, where Alaric was controlled, regal. Lucien was chaos, his golden eyes glinting with mischief and something darker. My pulse hammered as I stood between them, caught in a storm I didn't understand. Leave, Lucien, Alaric said, his voice like steel. His hand lingered near mine, a silent claim that made my skin tingle. You have no business here. Lucien laughed, a sound that danced on the edge of menace. Oh, but I do. Brother. The council sent me. There. Concerned about your new pet. His gaze slid to me, and I felt exposed, like prey under a hawk's stare. Elias. Is it? You're prettier than the last one. Enough. Alaric snapped, stepping in front of me. The air grew colder, the roses around us wilting slightly as if sensing his anger. He's not a pet. He's under my protection. Protection. Lucien's brow arched. Or possession. You've always been selfish. Alaric. But this time, you've gone too far. He moved closer, ignoring Alaric's warning growl. The council thinks you're losing control, and I'm inclined to agree. I wanted to speak, to tell them both I wasn't some prize to be fought over. But my voice caught. Lucien's presence was unsettling, not just because of his words, but because of the way he looked at me, like he saw something Alaric didn't. Something I didn't even see in myself. Elias, Lucien said, his tone softening, almost hypnotic. Do you know why you're here? Really? He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear, a stark contrast to Alaric's chill. You're not just a gift. You're a key. Back off, I said, finding my voice at last. I stepped away, my heart pounding. I don't know what game you're playing, but I'm not part of it. Lucien's smile didn't falter. Oh, you're very much part of it. And soon, you'll see. He turned to Alaric, his expression hardening. I'm staying, brother, and I'm watching. That night, I couldn't sleep. The castle felt different, its shadow sharper, its silence heavier. Lucien's arrival had shattered the fragile peace I'd found with Alaric. Worse. His words lingered. A key. What did that mean? I paced my room, the dagger still hidden in my coat. A reminder of the life I'd tried to escape. But escape seemed impossible now. Not with two vampires circling me like wolves. The next morning, Alaric found me in the library. My sketches scattered across a table. You're troubled, he said, his voice gentler than I expected. He sat beside me, his presence calming despite everything. Lucien's words. They're meant to unsettle you. They worked, I admitted, pushing a sketch of the rose garden toward him. What did he mean? A key. Alaric's jaw tightened. Lucien thrives on chaos. He's my younger brother, exiled years ago for defying the council. His return means trouble, but I won't let him harm you. I studied him, searching for the truth in his crimson eyes. Why do you care? I'm just a human. A sacrifice. He reached for my hand, his touch careful, like I was something fragile. You're more than that, Elias. I've lived centuries, seen countless faces fade. But you make me feel alive again. My breath caught. His words were a confession, raw and unguarded, and they stirred something deep inside me. I wanted to believe him, to lean into the warmth of his gaze. But Lucien's warning echoed in my mind. A key. A game. I pulled my hand away. Standing. I need answers. Alaric. Not promises. He nodded, his expression unreadable. Then come with me. He led me to a hidden chamber beneath the castle, its walls lined with ancient books and artifacts. A stone altar stood at the center, etched with symbols that glowed faintly. This, Alaric said, is why you're here. He explained, his voice low, that the village's offerings weren't just tributes. They were part of a ritual, one the council believed would break a curse binding the vampires to Ravenmoor. My blood, he said, carried a rare trait, something ancient and powerful. You're not just a gift, he said, his eyes searching mine. You're hope. I laughed. Bitter. Hope. For who? You. The council. Because it sure doesn't feel like hope for me. Alaric stepped closer, his voice urgent. For all of us. But I won't let them use you. I swear it. Before I could respond, the chamber door slammed open. Lucien stood there, his golden eyes blazing. Touching, he said, clapping slowly. But you're lying to him, Alaric. And I'm done with lies. Lucien's words hung in the air, sharp as a blade. The chamber's glow pulsed, casting eerie light across his face, and I felt the weight of his stare. Alaric's hand tightened on my arm, a silent warning, but I couldn't look away from Lucien. There was something in his eyes, anger. Yes, but also pain, raw and unguarded. Lying, I said, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. What's he talking about? Alaric. Alaric's jaw clenched, but he didn't answer. Lucien stepped forward, his movements fluid, predatory. He didn't tell you the whole truth. Elias. The ritual. It's not just about breaking a curse. It's about power. Your blood doesn't just free use it, makes one of us unstoppable. I turned to Alaric, my heart sinking. Is that true? He hesitated, and that pause was answer enough. It's complicated, he said finally, his voice low. The ritual could amplify a vampire's strength. Yes, but I never intended to use you for that. Never. Lucien scoffed, circling us. Don't play the saint. Brother, you've been planning this since he arrived. Why else keep him so close? Why else play the lovesick fool? The words hit me like a punch. Lovesick. Was that what this was? The late-night talks. The walks in the garden. Alaric's gentle touches had it all been a lie. I stepped back, my mind racing. Alaric, I said, my voice breaking. Tell me he's wrong. Alaric's eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw fear in them. Elias, I care for you. Truly. But the council. They expect results. I thought I could protect you. Find another way. Enough. Lucien snapped. He grabbed my wrist, pulling me toward him. His touch was warm, alive in a way Alaric's wasn't, and it sent a jolt through me. You don't need him. Elias, come with me. I'll show you the truth. Alaric lunged, shoving Lucien back. Don't touch him. The chamber shook, dust falling from the ceiling as their power clashed. I stumbled, my back hitting the altar, the symbols glowing brighter. For a moment, I swore I felt them pulse under my skin, like a heartbeat not my own. Stop it, I shouted, my voice echoing. Both brothers froze, their eyes on me. I'm not a prize, and I'm not a weapon. I'm done being your pawn. Lucien's expression softened, just for a moment. You're not a pawn, Elias. You're the only one who can end this. But you have to choose. Choose. I laughed. Bitter. Choose between what? Two vampires who both want to use me. Not use, Lucien said, his voice low. Save. The council will come for you. Elias. They'll force the ritual, with or without Alaric's consent. But I can get you out. Alaric's eyes darkened. And take him where? Lucien. To your rebels. To a life of running. He turned to me, his voice urgent. Stay with me, Elias. I'll fight for you. I'll defy the council if I have to. I looked between them, my heart torn. Alaric, with his quiet strength and promises of protection, had become my anchor in this nightmare. But Lucien, with his fire and defiance, offered something else: freedom. Maybe. Or at least the truth. I didn't know who to trust, but I knew I couldn't stay trapped in their game. That night, I made a choice. I slipped out of my room, the dagger in my hand, and found Lucien in the castle's west wing. He was waiting, his golden eyes glinting in the dark. Knew you'd come, he said, a hint of a smile on his lips. Don't get cocky, I said, my voice sharp. I'm not here for you. I'm here for answers. He nodded, leading me through hidden passages to a courtyard where a horse waited. We ride tonight, he said. The council spies are already here. If we don't move, they'll take you. I hesitated, glancing back at the castle. Alaric was there, probably pacing his study, unaware I was leaving. My chest ached at the thought, but I couldn't stay. Not if it meant being a tool in their war. Let's go, I said, climbing onto the horse. We rode through the night, the forest a blur around us. Lucien was silent, his focus on the path, but I felt his warmth behind me, steady and real. Why are you doing this? I asked finally, my voice barely audible over the wind. He didn't answer at first. Then, softly, he said, because I know what it's like to be a pawn. And because I see you, Elias. Not just your blood, but you. His words hit harder than I expected. I didn't respond, but as we rode, I felt something shift. Lucien wasn't just chaos. He was a mirror, reflecting my own fight for freedom. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just running from Alaric, it was running towards something new. Dawn broke over the mountains, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Lucien and I had ridden all night, stopping only when the horse faltered. We sat by a stream, The waters rushed, drowning out the chaos in my head. I was free, but freedom felt like a fragile thing, ready to shatter at any moment. "You're quiet," Lucien said, tossing a pebble into the stream. His golden eyes flicked to me. "Softer now. Less guarded. Regretting your choice." I shook my head, my fingers tracing the dagger's hilt. "Just processing. I thought I knew what I wanted. Now I'm not sure." He leaned back, his smirk returning. "That's the thing about freedom, Elias. It's messy, but it's yours." I looked at him, really looked, and saw the weight he carried. The defiance. The scars literal and not that marked him. Lucien wasn't just Alaric's rebellious brother. He was a survivor, fighting a war I was only beginning to understand. And yet, he'd risked everything to get me out. Why? Before I could ask, hoofbeats thundered in the distance. Lucien was on his feet in an instant, his hand on the sword at his hip. "Council," he hissed. "They found us." Panic surged, but I stood, gripping the dagger. "What do we do?" "Run," he said, pulling me toward the horse. But it was too late. Figures in black cloaks emerged from the trees, their eyes glowing like Alaric's. At their center was a woman, her presence chilling, her silver hair gleaming in the dawn. "Lucien Varnholt," she said, her voice like ice. "You've stolen what belongs to the council." "He doesn't belong to anyone," Lucien shot back, stepping in front of me. "You want him? You'll have to go through me." The woman smiled, cold and cruel. "So be it." The fight was a blur, Lucien's sword clashing with theirs, his movements a dance of fury and grace. I tried to help, slashing with my dagger, but I was no match for vampires. A cloaked figure knocked me down, and I hit the ground hard, the dagger skittering away. I thought it was over until a familiar voice roared through the chaos. "Enough." Alaric appeared, his crimson eyes blazing as he tore through the council's guards like a storm. He reached me, pulling me to my feet, his hands steady despite the blood on them. "Are you hurt?" he asked, his voice raw. I shook my head, too stunned to speak. He'd come for me. After everything, he'd come. Lucien was at our side now, his sword dripping. "Nice timing, brother," he said, but there was no warmth in it. "Here to claim your prize." Alaric ignored him, his eyes on me. "I was wrong, Elias. I thought I could protect you by keeping you close, but I only trapped you. I'm sorry." His words broke something in me. I wanted to hate him, to push him away. But all I could see was the man who'd listened to my dreams, who'd made me feel seen. "Why are you here?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Because I love you," he said simply, and the world seemed to stop. Lucien's laugh was bitter. "Love? Now you play that card." But his eyes met mine, and I saw the flicker of something jealousy. Maybe. Or longing. "Tell him, Elias. Tell him what you want." I looked between them, my heart tearing in two. Alaric, who'd offered me safety but kept secrets. Lucien, who'd given me freedom but pulled me into his war. And then there was me, no longer just a runaway, but someone with a choice. "I want to live," I said finally, my voice steady. "Not as a gift, or a key, or a weapon. I want to be free. But I want you both in my life. Not fighting over me, but with me." The council's leader laughed, but Alaric silenced her with a look. "You heard him," he said. "He's not yours, and he's not ours to claim." What followed was chaos and compromise. Alaric and Lucien fought side by side, driving the council back. They didn't win, not completely, but they bought us time. We fled deeper into the mountains, to a safe house Lucian knew. There, in a quiet cabin, we made a pact. No more secrets. No more games. We'd face the council together. Find a way to break the curse without sacrificing anyone. Months later, we were still running, still fighting. But it was different now. Alaric taught me the history of his kind, his touch gentle as he bandaged my wounds. Lucian showed me how to wield a sword, his laughter warm when I failed spectacularly. And me, I sketched them both, capturing the moments when they forgot to be monsters and were just human. Love didn't fix everything. The council was still out there, and the curse still bound us. But as I sat between Alaric and Lucian one night, the fire crackling, I realized something. I wasn't just a gift or a key. I was Elias Kane, and I'd chosen my own path. And that was enough.